Welcome to Think Out Loud with me. Here's the thing. I don't know what I don't know. What I do know is what I don't know is where love lies. It's where the beauty of humankind lies. And so I'm in a lovingly dogged pursuit of the source of energy that resides within each human soul, my own included. It's a wellspring of magic. I do know that. I've not given up on us, you see. I'm actually gonna fucking dig in. It's a wonderfully awkward stage I'm in, actually. I suppose that can be expected given I've spent the first 47 years of my life living one script passed down to me from generations of humans in my own line. And I'm now actively, sometimes maniacally authoring quite another. It's like I've lived the first half of my life in third person. I'm ready to engage. First person, baby, all the way. Today, I celebrate the mild first season of Think Out Loud with me. It was fun. I mean that. I actually mean that. I got my sea legs about me, and I had some really safe conversations with some really fantastic people. People that I trusted in my own recovery over the last many months, and people who have seen me at some pretty low moments that I knew I could be safe in trying this Think Out Loud with me thing on. Like I said, though, I'm kind of over that. I'd like to dig in. And so I'm digging in with an old friend, a childhood friend. I don't even know if I could officially call us, when you grow up in a town the size of Bayfield, you are all friends in some form or a way, right? We were friends. January Riggin is here with me today. She's a survivor of sex trafficking, domestic violence, addiction, and the criminal justice system. She's a mom of a beautiful 22-year-old. She's going to be a grandma this year. And she's a founder of a nonprofit in Salt Lake City, Utah, where she's phoning in with me today. She's a woman in long-term recovery, being absolutely loud and proud about her story. Her new book, Dark Side of the Moonchild, is just released, and I am super excited to introduce her. She's also the founder of what is called Soap to Hope, and I want her to talk to us about that. But first, we were not recording when we first saw each other, and that was lame. We're just gonna get back to talking because I need everybody to hear. What's up? Okay.
I know. I'm like, at first I was like, is this all recording? Because I probably don't know or not. But anyways, I thought Zoom records you anyway. It's kind of creepy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm totally good. So yeah, we were just catching up after not having seen each other for probably 40 years. No, 30 years. Sorry, I can't even. I've always sucked at math.
It's all right. You can blame it on the town we grew up in. I don't know if people are that educated there.
I did math. Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I always sucked at math. But 30 years ago, we probably laid eyes on each other, and a lot of shit has gone down between then and now. I would love to just get back to chatting. We were talking about small towns, but I think more than that, what we were getting around to is the story of recovery, the difficulty and the beauty of it all wrapped into one. I'm being super creative here to try and set the mood. Can you tell? That's entirely too nice. Like, yeah, let's talk about it. Like, catch me up. What you been up to? How you been?
What's funny, I think that comment you just made about like so much has happened since the last time we've seen each other, but isn't it weird to think about how much shit was going on at the time, but none of us were the voice for that, right? Like we weren't allowed to be a voice for that, right? Like especially in a small town like you, and so, I mean, if I think back to then, like, I used to fucking hate people in recovery that would, like, when the younger generation would come in and people would make these comments of like, I spilt more dope than you used. And I'm like, oh, dude, if you knew me at 16, and how much dope I was doing and how destructive I fucking was in here.
Right.
I would, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, people forget. Like, like, I was a wasted youth at a really young age. I was wasted. I was one of those wasted youth way before even drugs probably started to seep in the world. Like, I was just wasted. Like, the way I looked at the world, the distortion, the paranoia that I already had in life was already starting at a young age, right? Like, I felt like I didn't feel like I lived around any real type of humans, right?
Mm.
And so you just kind of breed that. But like, life's been fucking nuts, dude, since birth. Like, I was saying that, like,
Right.
dude, I think I've been wild since I was at birth. Like, I definitely, I don't know if I had a shot, you know? And so to create my own shot, right, like, was pretty beneficial. Like, making it to recovery was that was the easy part. Fucking,
I'm so proud of you. I don't think I can say right now, I feel like in a lot of ways that I knew, like, I don't know, like I knew I would talk to you again. And that's a knowing that I have right now. It's not something that would have come up earlier, but I feel like I knew I'd talk to you again. And it would, and yeah, that there was that in your future. I mean, of course it was, because who else could tell the story like you could? I
right,
mean, that is the power. That's your beautiful, fucking glorious magic.
right.
And you
Yeah,
fought
I'm
for
telling
it.
you, I
You
didn't know.
fought for it.
I'll tell you right now, I didn't know I didn't know I was coming here. Like, I didn't know I was going to be here. I thought I'd be dead, dude. Like, I really honestly, like, I thought I was dead. Like, and there's many times that I was dead and I used to be so fucking mad at God, where I'm like, yo, dude, you gotta fucking give me a break, dude. Like, put me in the ground. Like, me and you were good. Like, I don't need any more of the fucking things that life throws at you. And so, like, it's been a trip to, like, I'll be in October celebrating 16 years in recovery.
Good for
But
you.
I'll tell you right now, I didn't get, for probably 10 of those years, I wasn't desperate to heal. I was just desperate to not use dope.
Yeah.
And so at 10 years clean, I almost killed myself. I fucking lost my fucking mind here. And I'll
Sober.
be the first one to tell you that, like, whatever fucking switch happened with fucking my past and my present colliding, um, fucking took me to a fucking destructive place. Like, I didn't know who I was. I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. I felt like I was fucking wounded. I fucking felt like I was disabled. My mental health was like, I don't know, even know. Like, I wasn't one of those people that advocated for mental health until that time, right? Like, I was such a criminal junkie that I took a lot of pride in that. In the mental health part, like, I probably definitely covered up with a lot of fucking lies and
Yeah.
drugs that
Yeah.
when it came out, the mental health part, dude, I didn't know how to accept it. I got that. I didn't know how to swallow it. I didn't know how to accept it. I didn't know that, I didn't know I was a fucking victim. Like, I didn't know any of that shit. Like, I fucking had no idea. I definitely, I talk about it in this book, right? Where, like, the emotions have echoes and they were just fucking bouncing off every wall. Like, if it was fucking from my past, or if it was fucking from a fucking room I was spent in, or from a fucking vision that came in my life, or flashback, like, I fucking had no idea that all this, like, repeated movie was gonna fucking tear me apart. And it was because I didn't do the healing. I thought it was the fucking dope.
Right.
You know, I thought it was like, I thought dope landed me in all these spots. And if I wasn't using, I would have never been raped. I would have never been sexually abused. I would have never been in a prison. I would have never, and that's untrue. It's unfucking true.
Yeah.
Like, that's the truth. It had
Yeah.
nothing to do with the dope. It had to do with the fucking untreated fucking mental health going on in
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah. 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 That has been, yeah. Jesus, criminy.
Right? Like, it's like, you want, you're speaking to be out loud, but
Man,
I was fucking, my actions were loud. Don't get it twisted, right? Like people, I was a fucking kid that went to prison at 16. Like my actions were super fucking loud, right? Like but
but nobody was listening. Nobody was fucking listening.
Yeah. I actually talked.
That just breaks my heart.
Right. I asked a law enforcement, I was like, yo, dude, like, do you know that like when you show up to a property and you are like, there's just a fucking 16-year-old or a 14-year-old just on this property with older men and a bunch of bikers and a bunch of criminal activity, bunch of drugs, like you literally like prosecuted me, but you never once fucking asked me, what is a fucking 14-year-old doing here? Like, where's your home? Where's your parents? Why are you here? Like, you knew why the rest of them were here. Like, that was evident. That was their lifestyle, right? And I said, and you fucking you failed me. Like, yeah, dude, like you fucking did not ask me what happened to me. You basically said, what's wrong with you? And fucking right then and there, fucking signed me off.
Wrote you off.
System. I said, once you gave me that charge and labeled me, I never had a chance. Never fucking had a chance. I never had a chance to be advocated for, be a voice for, nothing. Like you literally put me as a criminal, and for the rest of my fucking life, I went in and out of that fucking system. That I was just a delinquent. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. It's pretty fucked up. And they do it to a lot of you. They do it all, yeah, you know.
All day long. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, all the time.
Lived experience.
There, you know, it's probably one of the most beautiful things you'll ever experience is lived experience. And like, don't get it wrong. Like lived experience can trigger lived experience.
Absolutely.
Right? I've been around a lot of survivors that are untreated, right? Like they're untreated survivors and they fucking cause some fucking harm. And we can do that with lived experience. Like if you're someone with lived experience and you're on a healing journey, fucking do the healing.
Mm-hmm.
And then go do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me help you, you know what I mean? But if you do it with this like fucking ego, you're fucked. Oh, dude, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because you get the savior complex. Like you think you're a fucking savior. You think
it's the drama triangle. There's a victim, and a villain, and I'm just gonna swoop in and save the day.
Oh yeah.
We do it all day long. We get invites to drama triangles left and right. You know, I'm like, nope, don't play. Nope, don't play that one. Nope, no, thank you. I was reading something clinical, and it was very non-clinical. It was the concept that every control, all of these mental health medication, everything that we live in the mental health world, medication-wise, hospital-wise, all that side, is based on controlled environments, right? Based on control groups. And the concept that the out of control group is where the real data is.
Oh yeah.
Because when you stop any variable from entering the set, you immediately stop it has to be live. It has to be. And I think that with that idea in mind, that the timing of connections and the timing of the groundswell that I'm personally feeling around being a helper and needing help. And you know who I talk to a lot about this is Nancy. And it's this concept that we've come full circle and that it's now our time to lay down this shit on its side. And, anything that was stacked up and stopping us from moving forward is now like, we're going to come at this from a groundswell of more. It's a maternal, it's a nurturing, it's a community, it's a your soul is absolutely fucking welcome here. And we are going to figure out how to support you. And we're going to break cycles and help you support your kids. And we're going to teach, like, there's like a movement, if you will.
Right.
And I want to be a part of that. It's not a meme. I don't want any more memes.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. I mean, man, people talk about those cycles. Like, I'm a fucking huge fan of breaking them. It's taken me a long time to fucking break some. Generational, personal. And I mean, I think right now, like, I am now been in recovery longer than I used. And I have now been in recovery longer than I was in a prison system. And so, like, it's taken me a long fucking time to break some of those cycles.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, that chain to that exploitation that went on for decades in my life is like that fucking pocket would fucking swallowed me, dude. It fucking, and I used to think that, like, oh my God, everything I've been through defines me, makes me stronger. I'm this fucking, and really in reality, fuck that, dude. Like, they did not make me who I am. I made me who I am. You were just a fucking experience in my life.
Yep.
Yeah. You were just a fucking experience in my life. And I am now who I am without all that fucking title of, like, oh, I survived that fucking piece of shit. Oh, I survived that fucking parent. Oh, I survived that fucking system. And it was just an experience that, like, I needed to become who I am today. But defining me, or like, I need to give you some type of forgiveness, fuck you. Fuck you. I don't,
I hear that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm not fucking God. You know what I mean? That whole amends process, that's for someone else. Like, you
I
need
need
to
that. Yep.
Yeah.
I need to hear that. That really resonates with me.
Yeah, like, I'm not fucking God. You don't need to answer to me. I don't need to forgive you for anything. And I don't need to fucking question you anymore. I just don't need to have you in my life. That is a fucking fact. You know, like, even when I go, like, it's so crazy. Like, I go home because I need to. I have to. Home is where we grew up. There's a lot of things there for me. One, my daughter's buried there. There's home. There's a lot of things that I did to a little girl that needs to be mended and that's me, right? But it's amazing because I always am like, oh, I'm gonna run into somebody and I finally might be able to act a fucking fool. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna fucking finally, like, and I'm telling you, over the 16 years that I've been going home in my healing journey, I haven't ran into one of them. Not even on accident. That fucking town is so small. Like, I go downtown and I go to I hang out downtown. I go to a couple of the bars.
You need to go to a football game.
Yeah, like, visit my friends at the bars that I know that they're just sitting there, right? Like, my family's still there. Like, not one time have I fucking ran into the people that I want to just give a piece of my fucking mind to, right? And I'm like, that must be my fucking journey, is that I don't have to.
Yeah.
Like, my voice is like, I get to heal regardless, with or without you. Like, you're stuck there, dude.
Yep.
Like, you are still fucking there. Like, same fucking girlfriend, same fucking sick shit, same fucking, you know what I mean? Same fucking house. Like, I'm like, holy fuck. Dude, like, I don't have to be a voice. I don't have to say that shit to someone.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, they don't deserve it.
I did write a lot of it in this. I need to tell you that. There's some in here that I finally ended the silence to some of that shit, right? Where, like, I was like, if I don't do this for myself, I'm going to end up 20 years in recovery and fucking blow my brains out.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? Because I'm still letting them have some kind of fucking weight over me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and there is even some with my mom, right? Like, like we were talking about it. My mom is my favorite human in the world. Growing up, I was confused by her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was a lot of unpredictability in my home. But even when I go to speak somewhere, like if I go speak like on a recovery platform, sometimes I'll call her and say, hey, I love you. And she goes, you're going to speak and you're going to share about that. Like she knows, like it's difficult for me now because I don't have that type of relationship with her anymore. But like when I have to go back and let people be relatable and identify that like this is where what led me, like marijuana wasn't the fucking gateway for me. It was childhood trauma that was the gateway for me. Like I didn't go into smoking weed. Like I had a fucking needle in my arm in the fucking trailer park down by fucking the baseball field in Bayfield. You know what I mean? Like so I was desperate to fucking numb out, you know? And my brother was fucking already using, like, alcohol was his fucking thing. You know what I mean? That dude, I think that dude's been literally drunk from when he was like 10 till now, his whole entire life. You know what I mean? And or have had something in his system, like where, like, and it's just mind fucking blowing that we have two different experiences with that, right? Like my addiction, because I'm a junkie, separates me from the alcohol that he's been, you know what I mean? Where I'm like, yo, dude, don't let me get you started on how fucked up alcoholics are. You know what I mean?
Right.
All of them are the same. Like all of them are the same. You just fucking get a lesser sentence, you motherfucker. You know,
right? Especially if you're a blonde in a suit with and you, having gotten drunk on your Chardonnay. Yeah, that'll.
you know, isn't it weird? Like it's I've had to talk about this a few times, and I'll just be really real because, like, you know that me and Todd lived in Ignacio for a long period of time until I started bouncing into my mom's. But being a minority growing up on there, being on an Indian reservation and being a minority, like there's some fucking mind fuck there. Like it's like I don't even really know if I had like the white privilege there. I was fucking ridiculed. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot
believe
of
that. I believe
there's
that.
a lot of conflict there. One, two, I think just that stigma of fucking growing up in that area is fucked up because I didn't get like I've never until I came to Salt Lake City, Utah, was offered a treatment program. I was literally never once. Like literally when I was 16, I went to the fucking Scared Straight program in prison. I didn't go into therapy. My mom tried once to put me in therapy for something, and the therapist turned on her, right? Like I walked in there with a bunch of bruises and like fucking her bruised up, and I was like, yo, dude, this is just normal in my home. Like this, I'm not acting out as a fucking child. I'm fucking defending myself. What the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like we are mutually bruised.
Yeah.
Like this is not me attacking my mom or her attacking me. Like this is normal as fuck. Like it is normal to fucking my dad to backhand me. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what you're gonna get from me. And I was a stubborn little fuck, right? Too. I could have told her, hey, I probably need help. Like I need you to get me the fuck out of my house.
You didn't know to ask that. I could have done the same fucking thing. It wasn't cool. I got handwritten letters with perfect cursive about what help I needed. And, proper grammar. Like,
right.
Here's where I want to go back to, though, is I want to recognize the very distinct experience of growing up in Southwest Colorado and the dynamics between Bayfield and Ignacio and wow. It just takes my brain off into a whole nother world of like the very quiet biases that I developed. I knew them.
Oh yeah.
I felt it. And I knew I don't know what I knew, but what a crazy little space in Southwest Colorado to run around in. And shit, I don't even know where to start with that conversation. That's a whole nother cast.
Oh, that's yeah. Like I didn't really know my biases and triggers. I went to this healing circle and they do a lot of Lakota way kind of native drumming and ways or whatever. And I was sitting in there and I was like, it was bothering me. Like I was no longer there for the healing and the experience and some of that stuff is fucking beautiful, right? Like that fucking native culture and drumming and the chanting and the fucking what they invite in and out and the like all that, right? Like it's and I was sitting there being like, what is going the fuck on? Like, I was like, am I racist? Like, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I was like, why is this like bringing up some like up in my throat and like fucking resentful? Like, I'm fucking want to run. I do not want to fucking be here no more. This is no longer comfortable. This space is like really fucking crowded. And it was interesting that after I stayed for after that part done was and they opened up like the circle to talk and I got to share that. I was like, yo, dude, I was like, believe it or not, like I'm probably one of the only people in this room that has any that close of an interaction with that native culture. Like I lived on the fucking reservation, right? You know what I mean? And I lived on white man's land. My dad's land was white man land. Like he was like my grandma was married or buried in the fucking white man cemetery. That's what it's fucking called till this day.
To this day.
Till this fucking day. You can go down. Like it's so fucking weird, right? Like where like I had to really sit in that circle and understand what was my like, and it's all stems back to like not fucking processing emotions. I was a fucking toxic masculine. You were taught to be a toxic masculine in those settings where you are emotionally unsensitive. I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, some kid died, that girl, like totally insensitive. And I think that's where it came into my own story that like when I had to face that I've been like raped or trafficked or abused or fucking pregnant at a teen and losing that kid, like it was hard to feel emotion.
Fuck yeah.
Where it was beaten out of me. It was like I was not emotionally a sensitive kid where I was like, oh, that's just normalized, like fucking grief, burying.
You were literally in coping state your entire fucking life. I call it a turtle without a shell. I mean, that's what you.
Yeah, like I'm like, where? I'm like, I'm in a fucking toxic masculine. I wrote it. You're getting your book. I'm mailing it out, but I wrote a whole chapter about I am too a toxic masculine. And I was taught to be a fucking toxic masculine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can absolutely fucking go home and please don't text me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy because I'm not that girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like you are winning meeting me, but if you're that guy, we are gonna have problems. But like it all stems from that trauma. Like I didn't know that where I was like, I missed out on a lot of beautiful things because of that fucking trauma. And some of it fucking forced and some of it self-induced and some of it fucking very secret, very hidden.
How have you dealt with like how did you deal like the resentment is just, I mean, it's a chapter, right? Because it can suck you in. It's like, I mean, it's a chapter of the healing that I guess, I don't know. I'm gonna shut up.
Well, I don't know. There was one lady that I met when I was in treatment for my very first time ever, and I'm talking at 29. And she said to me, resentment's like pouring poison and expecting someone else to drink it, but you're the only one drinking it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that kind of made sense to me. Like the only with all this anger and like nobody's getting hurt. Not like even the most Dude, I don't know. I've lived in the shadow of being a parent that's fucking buried their kid, right? And I've lived in the shadow of a parent that's buried a kid with not a lot of answers, right? And a lot of abuse in that situation, like and a lot of fucking sickness.
Yeah.
And to find out that you're not the sickest one in the room is kind of like, that's a hard fucking pill to swallow, right? 'Cause then that's when the resentment starts, right? Because
Yeah.
you're really good at hating yourself.
Yep.
Like, oh yeah, dude, I'm blaming, this is all my, like, whatever. But like when you find out you're not the sickest one in the fucking room,
Yep.
and there's someone else to point at, like absolutely got evidence that there's someone else to point at, yeah, that's where the resentment starts. So it's hard to fucking heal from that because there's some fucking accountability you got to own. You know what I mean? And when they don't own it, it's hard for you to heal from that.
It
It's
is.
fucking hard for me to heal from that. And I have man, dude, I've lived in a place where a lot of people will say that fucking word to you. Like, if somebody hurts my kid, I'm fucking gonna kill him. Right? Somebody does this, and I'm like, there should be a lot of fucking parents in
Dead people.
One, there should be a lot of fucking people dead. Two,
Yes.
there should be a lot of fucking parents in fucking prison.
Prison.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's the child abuse that happens in the US is fucking disgusting, for one. The sexual abuse that happens to fucking children in the US is fucking heart fucking break. Familiar fucking sexual abuse where your fucking dad is fucking like whatever, your uncle, your fucking brother, your stepbrother, your fucking mom's grandpa, your fucking mom, whatever.
Whatever.
The familiar sexual abuse in the fucking US, in the Western culture, is fucking disgusting as
Wow.
fuck. So all those kids that have been harmed, dad should be locked up in fucking prison, for one, right? Two, fucking predators should be fucking killed, right? But like that shadow has followed me for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And what happened with that fucking shattered self-esteem is I turned it on myself.
Yep.
Fucking tried to fucking kill myself. I fucking tried to fucking do anything to fucking like numb that out. And I fucking chased it, dude. Fucking, I'm telling you. I don't even know. I don't know how I'm not fucking dead, but fucking like.
I am so glad you're not. I'm really glad you're not.
But facing that is fucking ugly. And the resentment in that, dude, like, first off, the resentment towards myself, much less this fucking person. And I think I resent myself more by just not by fucking holding on to your fucking secret.
Yep.
That's probably the biggest one.
Yep.
Where now it's time for us to be fucking loud. You don't get to fucking get away with that fucking shit no more, you fucking piece. You know what I mean? I don't care if you are blood or not. You don't get to fucking live your life fucking in some secret anymore. It's all coming out in the wash. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I do. Yeah. Because why is this secret more important? I hear you so loud and clear. And even there is this, this come to when you face yourself, and you square up.
Yeah.
And, I think there is an opportunity. I'm just having a moment thinking about my dad, which I knew I would do. When you square up with yourself and you don't like what you see and you decide you're not going to fix it. Yeah. And there's too much, it's growing. There's too much of that shit. We're not paying attention to people's signs. We're not doing enough
we're patting people, we're giving people high five for consensual abuse. We're like, yeah, good job. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
fucking, Like, it's fucked up. Yeah, and we're part of it. I mean, trust and believe, like, I'm part of the fucking problem, right? Like, I mean, one of my biggest things is that silence was my first trafficker, right? No, fucking no predator has nothing on silence. They get like that's their fucking number one fucking play in the book is that silence, because one, we fucking feel shameful. Two, we feel fucking gross, or like, you know, like nobody will believe us, or we're fucking crazy, or they have some kind, like, yeah, that's their number one card, is that women, these kids, children, fucking moms, parents, will all stay silent.
Yep.
Even when the women, like even the women that I get out with my nonprofit, like that is like literally like in operations where they have like the traffickers going down, they're like, absolutely not, I will not testify, I will not report, he was my boyfriend, he was my lover, he provided, you know what I mean? Like they're so like that. Number one, like, yeah, I think silence is the number one global trafficker, and everybody can relate that in every race, every gender, every race, every fucking culture. Silence is a number one trafficker in our globally, like, and gets away with it. Silence gets away with it.
Silence is the enemy. Just, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's time.
That's all I can say about it. Oh yeah, dude, it's evil.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People forget to talk about, you know, we all talk about good, bad, and ugly, but people forget to talk about when they're introduced to evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the part that will shut your ass right up. That'll keep you silent, is when you're introduced to evil. And it's
Right.
given when you're introduced to evil and it's your fucking someone you really know.
Yep.
Family member, a fucking friend that you're super close with, a lover that you thought you were in love with. You know what I mean? Like whatever. And you're like, oh, okay.
You've been screaming about this. I just have a lot of respect for you. I just, you know, I told you before we started recording, like you are, I'm a fiend for, I love anyone that's a chapter ahead of me. Like you're kicking ass. I'm like, can I hold on to a toe? Can I hold on to you? Like, I just want to touch, I want to lay hands on you. You know, the ability to communicate gives us this human thing, empathy, and to be able to just reconnect with you. It's overwhelming to be able to look at lived experience with you, like in a truth way. And we haven't even touched on like I just would love to talk to you, because I'd love to think out loud with you, because we aren't doing it enough. I think we're losing connection with our consciousness. There's so much stuff that has got us so fucking distracted that the shit we matter on is so fucking stupid and offensive to me. Like, I'm in this state where I just look around and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me that that's what you're mad about? Like, do you not see the fucking house on fire? You're worried about you getting yourself a Dutch Brothers?
Right.
No, we got to speak up. We have to scream. And I'm going to look like a fool. I don't even know what I'm talking about half of the time. And I've been scared to death, and I'm going to offend people because I'm going to say it wrong, or I'm going to, you know, share too much, or I'm going to hurt somebody's fucking feelings. The trust I have in you, knowing you as a connection, just know, I don't know why I know this, is that if I do that, you're going to give me the grace to say, you know what, Natalie, check yourself. Here's some perspective.
Right.
This is how we communicate. Because you're right. I'm just like the type of like the white girl shame, like cry me a fucking river.
Right.
Is what I hear my judge saying. Like, oh, you don't even have, you have no room to feel shame. That's my beat up.
That's heartbreaking. Yeah, you got to get out of there.
You got to get out of it.
Yeah, one, you need to heal. Two, even there is that. I have a survivor that talks about her white privilege, right? Like, even out there when she was being trafficked, like the minority girls were beat way worse.
Do you need to get your dog?
No, my lover's getting it. Yeah. But like, she talks now that her platforms and the things that she does now is that she's using that privilege to be a voice. Like, we gotta stop this shame. But the other is we gotta start being the culture that protects everyone.
Everybody.
But yeah, and you know, there is some fucked up cultures out there. Let's not get it twisted. And it's not called the fucking race, right? Like, we have a fucking culture called rapists and predators and fucking sexual, you know, like fucking murder, like whatever those things are. Like, and we fucking accept that culture.
Evil.
Like, yeah. And like, it's amazing how like there's so many lines drawn with colors. But when it comes to that culture, we seem to cover it up with something. We seem to cover it up.
It would affect too many people.
Oh, yeah. And it's heartbreaking. Like, it's like fucking, like,
it's
all the time.
Awful.
I say this all the time. And, you know, there's some fucking cool shit that's come out of owning my story. Rewriting, owning, being a voice, ending the silence, being lost in the silence, fucking, like, yeah, like I've been able to fucking experience some of the most fucking fucking deniable breakthroughs, right? Like, where I've had like dropped to my fucking knees being like, what in the fuck, and grow from that, right? Or fucking, you know, go to Thailand and find this healer that fucking, you know what I mean, shifted everything for me. Or creating a nonprofit that does a lot of night street outreach where these, like, I get to go connect with humans that I want to help, right? Like, I'm not just like, you can call me discriminatory if you want to, but my passion is that street level.
Yeah.
And figure out survivors. Like, when I had to come out with, I didn't know trafficking was part of my story. I had no fucking clue, Natalie. Like, that property was fucking important to me. You know what I mean? That fucking property was where I got to be angry. I got to fucking get drugs. I got to fucking, like, she loved me too. Like, she combed my hair and washed me after sex and, you know, made sure, like, washed my feet, like, just like, so mind fucking things, right? Like, and trafficking wasn't a mainstream word back in our day.
No, God, no.
Yeah, dude. Like, that wasn't even, and so when that all came out, I thought I was fucking lying about my goddamn story, dude. I thought people, like, and I don't give a fuck what anybody back home thinks, right? Like, anymore, right? I used to, right? And when I had to come out with, like, oh fuck, I was like, I was abused, I was fucking raped, I was like, whatever those things are. I was a junkie, I was a piece of shit fucking person at that time. I was a teen mom, right? Whatever those things were that I had all fucking plastered all over me. Like, I didn't know that was going to be like, when I came out and I was like, how am I going to connect with other survivors? Because some of them just got out of it. There was an operation, it made the news. There were that, you know, they were, you know, traveled from state to state and kind of kidnapped. And that wasn't my story. Right. And I was like, do I even fit in that world? Right. Like, and I had to really learn that I'm a fucking voice for the ones that were in my world and that were trapped there by this vulnerability that was fucking exposed. Like, yeah, dude, I wanted somebody to fucking brush my hair and tell me they loved me. Fucking wasn't happening in my home. You know what I mean? Like, I was raised with my brother and my dad. They're like fucking two toxic masculines as it is. You know what I mean? But like, and did the best they could with what they had, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody could say one bad thing about Todd's little sister. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give him that, right? But like, to like hold me when I'm fucking crying. That wasn't happening. You know what I mean? But like I wanted somebody to, right? I want
Yeah.
like, and she
Because
took
that's human. That's human.
even
Connection is
though she was
human.
even though she was sick as fuck, she knew like, and I don't know if she was a victim too. Like, I have no fucking idea. Like, um, and but that
I
whole
think there's
experience,
real. I think there's totally real there. I think it's but I think that it's a cycle of the same predator, the same there's a mental predator situation where the roles shift, and you don't ever check back in with yourself.
no. And that was me. That was literally it until I got into recovery. Is that because really the truth is, Natalie, is I fucking got other kids to go out there. I fucking started fucking recruiting girls when I took off to Denver. You know what I mean? I started to fucking so I never checked. I was like, oh, this is normal. Yeah, fucking sell your ass, fucking, do what he says, finding other pimps, finding other fucking people, fucking all looking this different, same fucking model, right? But and convincing other people that this is come on, you're gonna be able to get fucking dope, you're gonna be able to get a couple extra bucks, you're gonna be able to have a hotel room, you're gonna be able to shower, whatever the fuck it was that I convinced people. But I never checked in until I was in recovery and fuck was like, what in the fuck? Not only was I a victim of something, but then I fucking victimized others. Like I've literally have fucking caused some harm in that toxic cycle because I had no idea what was normal and not fucking normal anymore.
Nobody, yeah.
And nobody told me that it was like, you know what I mean?
Nobody, the part that, like, I go back to silence. It's like we're standing watching this shit. Like it's just silence it's fucking, it's evil.
Yeah. Well, even the truth is by like, even you guys older than me, there was already a few girls pregnant by this guy,
Yeah.
right? That there's no more empathy for the third. It's just fucking like just another fucking person trapped in that fucking bullshit, right? Nobody like came up to me and was like, yo, what the fuck? Get the fuck away from him. Like, we've been telling, like no one fucking came up and warned me. Like, and because we have normalized it, like we've
Mhm.
lost empathy there. Like nobody else listened. Why would she? Right? We've
Mhm.
already like we see this, like
Selective empathy. It's fucking awesome.
right, but it's like I've been there too, like
Oh
watch
yeah.
where I'm like, holy fuck, where I don't know, like I don't even, now. I mean, obviously now I'm like, yo, dude, fucking get the fuck out of that goddamn relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm gonna
Yeah.
be the first one to tell you if you stay in, you know the consequences. Like that's your truth, right? Like, but just know you had a friend that said, get the fuck out.
Mhm.
And obviously, I don't get to do that with my past or back there or anything. But like now, I get to have enough awareness that I wish somebody would have fucking said something to me. But the truth is like, what? We didn't even know how to speak to each other back then.
No, we were stunted at best. I mean, I no, we no.
Right? Like I never would have been like, yo, Natalie, like you're fucking depressed and your home life looks fucked. Like, what do you need? I
What do
didn't
you
know.
need? I'd have been
Right.
like,
You'd be like, fuck you, bitch. Get the fuck away from me
I
right
don't
now.
even know what I would have said to you. You scared me. I was like, yes,
Like,
as long as you like me.
but isn't it just sad? Like we just all didn't know.
No, I didn't have a
No.
no, and that's why, I mean, and like I was sharing before we got on, that's why I ran as hard as I knew I didn't like what I was seeing. I didn't like what I was seeing. I just needed to get out of, that's my experience of it. Was this is now, I thought I was, in control of shit, and I spun off into started my own, cycle of yummy. Um Underwater of, just trying to dog paddle through multiple years, right? And it's amazing that we're able to circle up. It's fucking amazing. And it's crazy. It makes my heart pound just thinking about it.
It's so, I know. Especially when I think it was interesting when you cause let me tell you, this book exposed me, right? Like it exposed me and I didn't have control over who bought it or not, right? I put the fucking form. And I wanted it that way, right? And I needed it to be that way to release some of this like built up fear and paranoia that I've had. Yeah, you can't, like, the grocery store freaks me out, right? Like there's too many fucking
Yep.
like I'm like, who's on the other side of that,
Yep.
right? I have a fucking hard time. Maybe that's why I'm still fucking so skinny. I have fucking no idea. Like, I can't go into a grocery store and fucking grab food. But like, there was some people from my past that bought the fucking book, right? And I had no control. And I was like, I can't even message them and be like, ran out of books, right? Like, that's pretty fucked up. I just released it, right? Like, so like, I wanted right. Oh, I had a fire, everything got burned up, whatever that is. Like, I can come up with some shit and people probably believe me because they're like, it's fucking wild, right? But there was a moment where like even you contacted me where I was like, oh, this is opening the door for me to heal some of those places. Like those doors like that, like where I felt so like not a part of out back there, right? That like there is some connection there. That doesn't matter. Like there is that like and I needed that, right? Like I needed that. Like even when I got in the car and I was driving to one of my softball tournaments and I fucking told Jason that that I love, but I sleep with him, right? I gotta emphasize that because I know how to love people and I know how to sleep with people and I know how to fucking separate them. But like I was like, oh dude, there's some people that I'm gonna mail this book to that I fucking grew up with, and I'm kind of scared as fuck. And when you message me and you're like, I'm buying the book and I have this podcast, and I was like, oh fuck this, dude, I'm gonna fucking square up, check in, and do this because it is scary. And it's kind of cool to really connect with some women that I didn't know had stories too. Right?
Sure.
Like I have my shit going on. But anyways, like it connected me being like, oh, there's so many unfucking told stories.
Girl,
And
you have it's beautiful. That's where the magic lies, is in our stories. If the secrets go to the grave, they don't do any good. The stories do the good. The stories are fucking hard as fuck, but that's where the good is, and we got to speak up and share that shit. It's not about one, like you were saying, it's not about one being better than the other.
Oh no.
And I mean, I've got my own this, that, and the other with my, I mean, that the blonde with the, you would have eaten me up in jail. I got eaten up. I was there a night and I was like, girl, I was the one that DUI after a full bottle of white wine to myself, and I end up in downtown LA, Cherry Street. They took me to the drunk tank. They put me in the front seat of the car, January.
Oh.
Yeah. I got to ride in the front. Mm-hmm. And I had my Ann Taylor suit on, and I had my and my BCBG shoes. And I had my horn rim glasses, and they put me in. I got to call everybody.
Yeah. So there is that. Yeah, that's a trip.
So when I got in, this gal says, it was like, you could see my cute little, I was so obvious. A mess.
That's so funny. That's never happened to me.
No.
And I'm white.
I walked around with, it's pretty nuts. I don't need, it's a pretty crazy story, the DUI right before the wedding. And then the next morning after I got released, I jumped in a Porsche, Cayenne. No, a Porsche, whatever the fucking, what are those SUVs called? I don't even fucking know. And drove up to Santa Barbara for my bachelorette party at wine tasting in Santa Barbara. What the fuck?
You didn't have a problem though.
I had no problem. I was fine.
You just got caught that night.
That was the last time.
That's hilarious. It's just crazy. I don't know. I think it's so cool to watch the voices come out. Even you, like even when I was like, what is this? Like, I think it's so fucking dope that people are fucking starting to see they're rewriting their own story and follow their passions and see where they need to change that story and be a part of the solution, you know? And those solutions sometimes come really ugly. They're not fucking wrapped in some pretty fucking bow. I'll tell you that right now.
No.
But to get there, to do the work, so fucking worth it. Dude, I've done it. I do it all the time. Like I heal on purpose. I do the work. I fucking have done some things that, you know, like I give myself permission to heal, and I give myself permission to fucking not do the work either, where I'm like, hey, like you've done it, like right now is not the time. You're not in a good place. You know what I mean? Like don't open this wound right now. You're not safe.
That's the mental fitness part that got me started with this whole thing, is because it's like, how do you develop the resilience in between the down and the back up, right? It's this, because we can get pounded down into the and so that resilience, that closing that gap and giving yourself just like enough fucking room to breathe at the top of the water. Like, how do you learn, like, you know, like you start with a straw literally sticking up out of the water.
Right.
And you eventually like lower the water line and continue to lower the water line with the healing until you can finally fucking stand up again. And then you can't stand, I mean, like sea legs, right? Totally like you're wobbly, like you've been on a cruise ship for 10 fucking days, which is a total white privilege thing to say. I've never been on a fucking cruise ship for 10 days, only 4. I hated every fucking minute of it. It was a Carnival cruise ship that I did for January. It was a New Year's. I was supposed to get laid. And it was all old people.
You're like, not doing it again.
Not doing that again.
Right.
But I don't have a problem.
Right.
Anyway.
It's just small steps, dude. It's small. I need them. I don't know. I like, even right now, like after releasing this book, I think there's some stuff that's shifting for me. I feel more fucking grounded than ever.
Oh, I bet you do.
I feel in my own truth. Like it's finally my truth. I'm not fucking some crazy ass bitch getting arrested. I'm not on some, you know what I mean? I'm not on some fucking substance that someone can blame. I'm not, you know, like it feels so good to be like exposed, vulnerable, and in my truth. Like there's a whole different line of freedom, and like, you know, wreckage from our past, it has a price, dude, and so does freedom. And so I've done the work to have this type of freedom, but I do know that there's going to be more layers that come from it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
because you're introducing your truth to air. And air has variables in it.
Right. So. And that's like you with this pocket. Like if you go live and you're just talking and what comes out, you're fucking exposed.
And that's my goal. Like, what am I trying to fucking hide? If I'm, you know, everybody's like, you're being too polite. I'm like, all right, let's open this up. I got it. Like I have to, like, that's my entire first half of I was very polite. And I'm going to die polite, but I'll add a fuck at the end.
Right.
And the table will be set perfectly. And the invitation will be grammatically correct.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm still the same person I was.
I know. It's cool, dude. There's so many lessons. Like I'm learning, like right now, I'm fucking becoming a grandma.
That's bananas.
It is bananas. But the truth, like even the trauma that came out of when finding out she was pregnant, fucking wooey, dude, that was not pretty. I projected some stuff. I have a lot of womb baby trauma. Like that is not a fucking good place for me. Even Kayla, like I ran, dude. Like I
Yeah.
give no fucks. Like after I lost Star, like
Yeah.
I fucking like God fucking hated me and that I didn't deserve to be a fucking mom. And so I put Kayla in some fucked up places to avoid my healing, like to avoid it. Like I fucking did it on choice, right? And so when I got her back and had to become a mom, much less just kind of a mom that's wasn't ready to tell her story yet, you know what I mean? Like, and so there was a lot of fucking stuff, but when she told me she was pregnant, ooh, there's some shit that came out for me. I caused some damage. Like there was some damage. And that's all right. Like we walked through it. It's still a little raw, it's still a little rocky. There's gonna be some stuff. Like she gets to learn her own version of what mom is and what nurturing is and what love is and what compassion. And she gets to rewrite that story and break that cycle.
Yep.
Like right, like she gets to break
Yep.
that cycle.
And you are, yeah, absolutely. And you're there to bless it, though. You're there to bless it and partake in it.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah. And so this will be the first ever baby that's part of my life, like actual bloodline, that I'll be able to be part of birth all the way. Right? Like Star passed away right before she was 3. Kayla, I went to prison right when she was born and didn't get her back till she was like 7 or 8. And so like this is going to be interesting these like next few years, like loving unconditional and loving like being grounded and fucking and fucking present and fucking like and fucking cool as fuck.
Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, dude, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's some, yeah, dude, I'm fucking be the coolest fucking grandma around. Like, where, like, that, like, and be a young grandma, which is so, like, where yeah, dude, going to the fucking park, running around, all fucking, I get to do all that. And so I'm pretty excited, but I was not good when I found out.
Yeah. Yeah. It all needed its air. Yeah. It all needed its air. Wow.
It needed its air. And what's crazy is what aired it for me is that she did invite me to the first ultrasound, which was kind of crazy that even happened because we were still pretty rocky right there. And yeah, she knew. And so when they said the due date, it was the same day that my dad passed away. And I was like, ooh, that was an interesting day for me. You know what I mean? I haven't had a dad for a long fucking time. And I think every little girl needs a daddy. And it's heartbreaking that there's not more out there available. Right. And so it was interesting where I was like, okay, I get it. What the fuck ever.
Right.
You know, I believe in healing and energy and, you know, Wiccan and fucking aliens and
I love it. Let them all be here.
Yeah.
They can join. I want to think out loud with them too. I do.
And I need them too. And my boyfriend tells me all the time, he's like, you're a fucking alien. Yeah, I just knew then. I was like, this was created for me on for a purpose, and I need to accept it. And it's been fucking beautiful ever since that day. Like fucking going broke. Fucking, I'm like, oh shit! Now I'm having a grandbaby.
The switch went. Boing.
I know, but like, I don't know. It's just been really cool. Like, I don't even know. That's probably a whole different book later on in years to like go through those first couple of years.
Yeah.
I didn't get that opportunity.
Yeah. What a gift.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because man, just that pain was rough for me, dude. I don't know if a lot of people, I don't even really know how to accept it still. Like I just was so fucking confused. I didn't understand it. Like death is a whole different ballgame for people, and I've been surrounded by death my entire life. Like small towns are that way. Like fucking grandpa, grandma die, or fucking uncle, someone die, or you know, even in those small towns, there's a lot of weird shit.
Yeah.
hunting accident, whatever. I don't give a fuck, right? But yeah, burying a fucking kid that is just so fucking weird. Dude, it was I don't even like, obviously that's not the right word, but that's fucking, I felt like I was drowning. Nobody can fucking hear me.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't chase dope enough. I could not figure it out. I could not figure out how to numb those feelings. I was so fucking confused. Yeah, dude, I was a fucking broken kid having fucking, and God had nothing. I was like, yo, dude, stay the fuck away from me. Like, you are a fucking piece of shit. Yeah, I've lost all hope in you. Like, that was it for me. I was like, I've been screaming your name for years. You now can get fucked.
Hmm.
That's where I lost. Yeah, any kind of spiritual, like, yeah, that was the darkest times of my life. Oh, dude, I'm so surprised I'm not in prison for murder. Absolutely.
I'm
I don't know.
glad.
That self-hatred was probably what kept me alive, is chasing that dope and hurting myself.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have enough time to plot a fucking murder, you know what I mean? Or whatever that was. But like, I definitely, and I'm shocked because I was so angry. Like, the people that I hurt are like, I just very, and I'm grateful too. Like, I do believe I have a lot of interventions in my life that happen, but there is some things that I'm very shocked that like I wasn't in there for murder, and that I just didn't kill myself.
Yeah. You did it.
Yeah, dude. Like, there's some self-control there. I don't even know where it came from, but I couldn't stop other things, but those things I think what stopped me is like, I wasn't guilty. That wasn't mine.
Yeah.
That wasn't mine to own, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was trying to own it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't mine. And at the end of the day, that's what it came down to, was like, this isn't my story to own.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So it's just interesting. It's interesting where we come from, where we're going, and what the fuck's next.
And we're right in the middle of it. We started Bayfield, what a little small little town of weird. We'll just leave it at weird. It's a fantastic little spot. I go home now and I sit on my riverbank.
Oh, that fucking place, dude! It's breathtaking.
Sit on my riverbank. Yeah.
I go there and it's breathtaking. I get in the water. I fucking walk barefoot. I fucking soak up that local vibe. Like, that home matters to me, right? Like, that's like, I'm very grateful for that fucking breathtaking place. But it's so weird to have that. So whether right now I'm like, oh, I'm a fucking visitor. I get to enjoy this place. Living here, no.
Yeah.
I can never live there again.
Oh, no. No.
No.
No, I last a couple days and then it's good. I love going home. I love my brother. I love my nephews. And I love my friends. And yeah, it's a wonderful place to visit. And it's a beautiful part of my story. Shit, running around that place with just, yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Right.
I wouldn't. No. I mean, some shit went down, but I still wouldn't trade it for anything. So.
Oh yeah, I met some of the most incredible fucking people there. Even till this day, like, I can go somewhere in Durango and it happens to be in this moment, and I could be sitting and I can watch like an older kind of like hippie woman walk by, and I just like, it just lets me know like what I had surrounding me my entire life. And that's probably what saved like that whole piece.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much emotion in that town. Like, you can see it, feel it, go there, be vulnerable to it. Listen to somebody even behind you in a coffee shop, and you're just like, oh, I know that. I know what you're talking about. Even though I'm not interrupting their conversation, but I know.
Right? Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, it's fucking beautiful. But like I said, I've never run into the people that I really want to know.
I remember some wild goose chase where we were going to beat the tar out of somebody, or I was with somebody who's going to beat the tar out of you. You were going. I don't know what it was, January, but it was not going to be. It what I didn't want anything to do with it because Peterson girls don't fight. Peterson girls don't fight. That was what my dad told me.
But you need to get in there and get some. Yeah, it's so funny to go back there. I don't know. I still love it. Some of my favorite people live there.
Oh,
Yeah.
if there's ever a chance for us to, I'll call. I'll let you know when I'm there, and if you let me know when you're there, I'd love to hang out on the river with you and just like
Oh,
stomp
yeah.
around, like put some lawn chairs in and just sit there. I jumped around there a few weeks ago, and the river, it was gorgeous and high, and yeah. So let me know next time you're down there. It may
Oh,
coincide
yeah.
with mine.
It's been really cool because I've been traveling. I go there. I try to go about 3 times a year, no matter what. And
Yeah,
I do there's fun some to just go visit and some because I need to do something for my
yeah,
healing.
yeah, for sure.
It's so yeah, we have to connect there.
Yeah.
I know. I wish I would have connected with you when I went to Denver. I just went to Denver in like August
Oh, really?
for a softball tournament, and then yeah, I went and
You'll
fixed
be
some
back.
stuff there. Oh
Now,
yeah.
now we're connected.
Yeah, we got to connect. We probably need to do another one of these days.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll reel from this one and then come up with 72 different questions and oh my gosh and oh my yeah. I want to um there's something about being a rebel um that is super appealing to me.
Oh,
Right? And uh there's a thread of rebelling, you know, on behalf of your own self, that has really got my brain moving a million miles a minute. And what I'm being blessed with is the timing of these connections. You, a former sister, in my former in-law, like things that just like plop into my, like, I'm like, holy fuck.
that's awesome.
I want to help us scream. I do. I want to help us amplify our voices, and whatever this needs to turn into to accomplish that. I don't know if I need to start a whole new one. I don't know what'll happen, but I'm going to keep you posted because you'll be a part of that. Yeah. Own it. It's accountability. It's called
Accountability. There you go. Do it. If fucking people say I don't got time, make fucking time.
you make time. It's so scary. I know it's scary,
Do it. Just do
but
it.
do it.
Yeah. But I love you. I probably got to get off, fucking help with these dogs, and someone else.
I am going to, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to jump off. I'm going to leave this as a part 1.
Okay.
And not really do, I'll tape in a bit of an exit, just to say whatever, I don't fucking know. And then whatever happens, happens. I want to get, support out for you on your book. But also I just want to go with the flow and let this up there and like, yeah, do its thing. So let's just
never invested in the outcome. Never.
Right.
It'll destroy you. It'll destroy you. You just got to be fucking free with stuff. I know. I love it. Let me know. Let me know when you post that too. Or whatever when you upload it, so I can start promoting your out loudness. There's probably some cool women that I know that would be.
Let's do it. Let's fucking shake it up.
Yeah, shake it up, dude. There's some pretty intense
rebel against this whole quiet, secret, fucking stupid. It's just not worth it. It's not. They're human beings' lives at stake here, and it's not. Yeah, we've got to start hollering. So let's do that. Let's plan on that.